Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.
Guide Us TV, first Islam channel in U.S.
Thanks to all of you for watching, sharing, and spending your time with us on Guide Us TV. And remember, tell everyone, stay guided with Guide Us TV.
Stay guided with Guide Us TV.
The wise old owl says we all need guidance in our life. So remember, get guided with Guide Us TV.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way.
And we're coming to you almost live from our studios. No, we're not in our studios. We're in a remote studio. I like that sound. That remote studio set up here in San Bernardino, California. MashaAllah ta'ala. Okay, and this is Doctor's Night, so we've got some doctors for you. Let's introduce the first one right now. Is
we have a phone call. We have a phone call.
We already got a phone call. Wow. All right.
We have a phone call.
Let's see.
The phone is ringing. We have a phone call.
Dr. Adel, Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
You have a caller.
All right. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. We have a caller from Egypt. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Wa alaikum assalam. This is Muhammad Salim from Egypt. So basically, my wife became a Muslim like around 4 years ago.
Okay.
And right now she is teaching Tajweed.
Oh my goodness. Your wife became a Muslim 4 years ago, and she's already teaching the Tajweed of the Quran. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, for beginners though.
Well, that. Hey, I qualify on that.
Actually, I sent her one of your videos back then, which was like from evolution to Islam. I think this is what was called.
Yeah.
And it was very, very beneficial. I sent her this video to convince her to become a Muslim back then.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Well, what would you like to talk about tonight? We got our doctors here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, my wife created her own manual for Tajweed rules for students in a PDF format. She has a project, and actually you have a project with word-for-word pronunciation by Wissam Sharif. May Allah reward you for this. And as respect for your copyrights, we would like to ask your permission to have the audio of 460 word examples from your project to insert it into the.
I
PDF
think
manual?
I think you don't know that we're actually on the air right now, did you?
No, actually, I do know
We're,
that. But
okay,
I can't
because
reach
this
any
is
other
this is something to talk over with the administrators of our websites, and so if you don't mind to call back at an earlier time, then that would be better. Earlier, at least a couple hours earlier, so we can see what we can do. All right.
Okay, no problem. The point is, like, we tried to call earlier, and they called us to call you now. So, okay.
No,
So,
well, I don't know who answered the phone, but yeah, I'm at my daughter's house, and we're taking care of her while their relatives are away. So maybe somebody else picked up my phone. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Barakallah fikum. MashaAllah. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam rahmatullah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah ta'ala. Okay, well, yeah.
World is getting smaller.
Yes, it is. MashaAllah. Can you imagine that
I'm just
one of my
saying.
videos halfway around the world is helping somebody get to Islam?
And
MashaAllah.
helping this person help others to learn about the Quran and Islam. So that's a beautiful thing, you know.
But most exciting thing is that just 4 years in Islam, she has learned Quran so beautifully that now she's teaching Tajweed. So that is phenomenal. That's
Yes.
Allah Ta'ala's blessing, and that's only can happen with Allah
Dedication
Ta'ala's
and the
blessing.
guidance of Allah. Yeah, you're right. That's a big dedication.
It's a
MashaAllah.
huge commitment. My wife did it over 3 years, the Tajweed of the Quran. And I know that we had to do a lot of adjustments when it comes to the time of the class, because we had to work around her instructor, schedule, so I know that takes a lot of commitment.
Yes, it does. There's no doubt about that. The commitment to do anything for Islam, Allah tests you on that. As a matter of fact, that's one of the big tests. If you are a Muslim, this is one thing, but if you want to really help others in Islam, that's a bigger story, much bigger story. And I think that's what you doctors are facing right now, because in addition to helping other people in their health and well-being, now you're going to be talking about Islam along with that, and that's that, to me, that's evidence already for what you're doing, that you will be tested real heavily for this, mashallah. And we didn't properly introduce Dr. Sultan when we kind of let's do that right now. Dr. Sultan, salam alaikum rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Great to be on this program.
Yeah, mashallah. Dr. Sultan is a medical practitioner in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, and he has him and his wife, both of them are doctors, and she's more the expert on these kind of things like the COVID virus, but he knows a lot about it. So that's why we brought him into this, and a year and a half ago now, isn't that right?
Yes, exactly.
And we even went there with the general manager, Yusha Lee, and we visited there with him and met a lot of his friends. MashaAllah. I said a lot, but it seemed like a lot to me. Maybe you got a lot more friends that I didn't get to meet.
Well, because of COVID, we just restricted our. Otherwise, you would have been amazed. We could have easily 400 people. But we just restricted to 40. We just restricted to 40 just because of COVID. Next time you come in, we'll have a, inshallah, big celebration.
That sounds wonderful to me. Very wonderful. Thank you so much. Doctor, just now give us an update of what's happening in Missouri or St. Louis or your area.
Very good question. Again, we are not out of the woods. We still need to be very careful. We need to be, social distancing. Every day, I have this most important question asked of me: should I get the vaccine? should I get the vaccine? I'm afraid of getting vaccine. I've been told this thing and spike protein and all the other stuff. So I want to put it in very simple, straightforward words, nothing, no word mincing, anything like that. Number one, it is a very serious problem. Number two, do not be misled by the social media and politics and this governing party and the other party. Please pay attention to the science. And the bottom line in science is that you must do everything in your capacity to protect yourself. Because I know a couple friends of mine who, one reason or the other, could not get COVID, and they are quite sick, and I'm under my treatment. I made arrangement because they contacted me very early, so I made arrangements for them to have monoclonal antibodies. I checked with them today. They're doing better, but they're not out of the woods. They still have severe fatigue. You just cannot imagine that this is not like a flu that you're going to get over with. There is a very serious problem with long COVID in which you can have fatigue, fibromyalgia, headaches, depression, and many asthma, breathing problems, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and so many other problems. So please do what you can do in your capacity. So I will reiterate, this is very simple. Number one, take your vaccine. All the protection you know about 50 times, people have told you, wash hands, facial mask, social distancing, those things are perfectly fine. But do take your vaccine. I did it, my wife did it, my children did it, my grandchildren did it, because I realized the seriousness of this infection. So therefore, this is the biggest, or this is the most straightforward and down-to-earth advice I can give you is get vaccination. Now, the exciting thing is that now vaccine is being in the process of being approved for smaller kids as young as 6 years old. Before it was 15, 16 or what. And now it is for younger. And we cannot get over this virus until we have enough reservoirs under control. And now, since the adults being to a great degree vaccinated, now the biggest reservoirs are the children. Therefore, we need to focus on them, vaccinate them, and always teach them what we talked about, social distancing, masking, hand washing, things like that. So this is where our future lies. It's not going to go away very quickly. And I'm really afraid that this winter could still be a very bad winter. It could be a real dark black winter. So please take this advice and don't take it lightly.
Thank you so much for that, Doctor. I would like to add a little something about this. I read today online, and so you can tell us whether or not this is true, but I read today that the booster shot is not as, if you've had the 2 shots already, that whatever you experienced on the second one, now if you had a little bite or a feeling or a little impression, it usually comes up the next day is what it said. But by the way, I've had both and I didn't feel anything. Maybe I'm dumb, I don't know, but I had zero problem. But I always do react to shots like that. I don't feel anything. But anyway, I'm a rare case maybe. So whatever you experienced on your second shot, the booster shot has a 77% chance of being similar to that, but a lesser grade. The 27% chance is that you will have nothing, just like I did. So that's what we heard. Doctor, can you verify that for us?
Well, first of all, I I'm in the same lucky category as you are. With the with the first shot, nothing happened. With the second shot, nothing happened. Majority of my patients, I asked them, they said nothing happened. And it is reasonable to believe that if you whatever you had with the second shot, you're likely to get less, because with 2 boosters, you are likely to have immune response already formed. Therefore, another shot, is not going to fighting as a foreign body. It is likely that it will be able to take the vaccine and process it with least amount of reaction. So I think what you're saying is right.
All right. The other thing that I read, it was talking about what you were talking about with the children, and it said that they are preparing for the vaccine to be available for children of 6 years old and older, and they're now looking at down to 3 years old, but that has not been approved yet. But that's what there is. That correct?
That is correct. So these are going in stages, because we need evidence, we need time, we need experience. So we got the experience with the elderly, it was a good experience. Then we got it with the younger population, we had a good experience. Now we are getting into 6 years old and stuff like that, and it appears like that we have good experience. That's why it's being approved. So I think it is perfectly legitimate and perfectly desirable that, especially when the smaller kids, we wait a little bit longer and see what happens to 6 years and over. If that happens to be pretty safe, as the data appears to be, then we can be more reasonable with 2 and 3 years old to be able to get vaccine without much adverse effect.
All right. Well, I'm really happy to report that there have been some really good experiences with the small children and with the adults, because they had done, they did their research and they looked into it seriously, and they discovered that the vaccine really has no weird stuff about it. The idea of some of the things that I've read on there, the ones that were most obvious to me are the ones that had something in there about the Earth being flat, or the flat earthers. And another one was about visitation from other planets or other realms, and they're somebody impersonating doctors and laboratory people, and they're putting stuff in there to take you away to another planet. Or okay, so those are pretty obvious. However, the ones that look more obvious are the ones, and I was reading this online today, and it said that this person, he started investigating after he saw our show. He saw our show, and he was talking about that on the social media. And what he said was, I got to thinking about it, and the doctors that I heard speak against this vaccine were, in fact, because I had mentioned veterinarians, and they said, yeah, one was an animal doctor, and another one was, ivermectin was mentioned because a lot of people are trying to use ivermectin. And somebody said, well, do I use the ivermectin orally, or do I rub it on my body? What do I do? And a person gave him the advice, just spread some peanut butter on a cracker and put the ivermectin on top of it and eat it. And I'm like, oh my God, because now it's very clear that the ivermectin was used something in a preliminary test, and it didn't hurt the people, but it is already approved by FDA, but it doesn't prevent the people from getting the COVID virus. So, well, you take it or not, maybe if you got worms, I guess, but for sure, this is not the thing to do to replace the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. Really. So, Doctor, what do you say about that?
Well, you're 100% right. I guess. How do you know that you don't have worms? So okay, then you can take ivermectin.
Yeah, if you got worms, go ahead, but don't think that you're being protected and say, "Oh, I'll take my mask off now." And I had the worm medicine.
Well, I mean, just like dogs, they deworm periodically. So I guess human beings can deworm themselves. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I guess that's.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So basically, I don't think ivermectin has any role in COVID prevention, nor COVID treatment.
I have proof against the flat.
I know of physicians who do it, but again, I'm not convinced that it is effective. And at least as of right now, I'm not doing it, and I don't plan on doing it unless there is some other convincing evidence on the others in the future. It comes along, that's a different story. But as of right now, the answer is no.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Dr. Sultan, thank you so much for that. And I think it's all fairness. We need to bring Dr. Adil in on this. Dr. Adil, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think Dr. Sultan nailed it right on the head. And I think the message has been relayed so many times to everyone about what to do and what not to do. Among the things that things can do to lower the risk of COVID is controlling the weight. There's study now.
Wait a minute. You're saying the people that are overweight have a bigger problem with their immune system? Is that right?
Absolutely. And this is one of the risk factors for, not just COVID, but for chronic diseases. And it seems like in the last, Europe and the pandemic, there has been an epidemic of weight gain because of lockdown, because of inability to go out and exercise, because of the increased eating, because of the stress. It's called compulsive eating. And this is what's happening now. The young adults at a high risk of overweight, the obesity over 10 years. So for them, they're an increasing segment of young people that they have been going from just overweight obesity to severe obesity, and with that increase in heart disease, cardiovascular events. And there are also the decreased immune system and getting infected with COVID. As a matter of fact, the risk factors that's been reported with COVID infection that have found to have increased incidence of infection include African Americans, overweight, immune basically suppressed status for whatever condition that the people are, and of course not being vaccinated. Then it is now something that can be controlled, not only to lower the risk of getting infected with COVID, but also lowering the risk for heart disease. Yesterday, I mentioned an article about how important it is for the teenage diet. I'm talking about fast food and how it's relation. You're going to pay for it later on with, basically early hardening of the arteries and the early heart disease development that will lead to, all the manifestations of heart disease, heart attack, congestive heart failure, atrial arrhythmia, stroke, and so on, which are preventable. Unfortunately, it's been happening as one of the consequences, I think, of COVID. Again, part of it due to inactivity, part of it because of sedentary style lockdown, and part of it because of either obsessive eating with the stress being kind of shifted towards that. So this is actually a study now that's getting to be a truly reaching an epidemic rates with obesity in the U.S. population that will certainly cause to go on to chronic diseases, will go on to heart diseases, and unless and until there is a effective intervention, because there is good news once you have sustained weight loss, it will reduce the heart cardiovascular risk factors. So it is reversible once you adapt changes in the diet and lifestyle with increased exercise and physical activity in general to prevent this elevated blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, triglycerides, and moving on to diabetes and other complications. So it's something that we emphasize the role of diet and how it is plays to make someone's immune system strong enough to fight diseases and prevent diseases, especially the chronic disease, and also prevent, of course, infection with coronavirus and others. Now, remember, we're going on to the flu season, and there's going to be multiple, agents, that they call perfect storm from everywhere, whether it's the regular flu or the coronavirus or other viruses that increase activity during the winter and the cold, weather. So we figured to kind of let people be very conscientious of the fact that nutrition and diet and activity all played in overall health. And if we do something about it, then we can not only control the status of disease, but also prevent future progression of diseases and have chronic disease and inflammation in the body.
Yeah, there's one very interesting comment I want to make. You talked about weight gain, overweight, and suppressing the immune system. So the people might question how much overweight I have to be to have my immune system suppressed. You will be surprised to see that the normal BMI, weight in relation to your height, maximum, the normal is 19 to 25. It's a mathematical calculation. You can on the internet take your weight and your height and you check for BMI, and it will tell you what your BMI is. So the risk factor starts if your BMI is more than 25. It doesn't have to be 30 or 40 or 50 to make you in the risk factor. Just barely above maximum allowed normal weight of BMI of 25. More than that is a factor in suppressing. And also, you mentioned about diet and carbohydrates and sugars and stuff like that. There's something very interesting about the diet. And the studies have done to show that taking sugar immediately reduces your white cells' power to fight infection. This is called phagocytosis, means gobble up the bugs. It cannot gobble, it just gets suppressed and it does not gobble up. And one of the main reason for the weight gain is eating too many carbs. So therefore, if you're overweight, the single most important thing you can do to improve your immune system is cut down on your carbohydrates, which mean simple carbohydrates like sugar, honey, maple syrup, corn syrup. And then cut down on complex carbohydrates like potatoes, sweet potatoes, and grains, rice, wheat, so on and so forth. So these are the things that will not only bring your weight down, reduce your risk factor for COVID infection, but this will also help build your immune system by allowing the white blood cells to be able to fight infection.
Doctor, how important it is for us to read the labels on some of the things that, the FDA is insisting on these labels to be placed on here. So how important is this for us to take the time to read it?
It's absolutely important because most of the processed foods, most of the boxed foods, most of the canned foods, they have additives, preservatives, and coloring dyes, and so many other stuff. You cannot beat fresh meats, fruits, and vegetables. When you come to canned foods, it has lost 25 to 50% of its nutrition, but it has also, by adding those additives and preservatives, those are chemicals. They have no nutrition value. And number two, when you get these chemicals in your system, what happens to the chemical? They just don't go out in the pee. What happens is the body's liver detoxification system has to detoxify, in which it has to use various vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And our diet being so low in nutrition, like government studies show that 80% of people do not get the 80% of recommended daily allowance, which is the minimum amount of nutrition to prevent disease. Optimum is much higher. They don't get it, like calcium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, and many other minerals. So therefore, when you eat a contaminated food with additives, preservatives, they're already low in nutrition. And then on top of this, those chemicals, you further strain your system and cause deficiency. Now, even today, I had one patient whose 24-hour urine for calcium was 35. She's born in America, raised in America. What the hell is wrong with you? The normally should be at least 200 on an average, and it's 35. And this is not an isolated case. I see all the time massive mineral deficiencies in people. So therefore, in order to improve your nutrition, the single most important thing you've got to do is eat healthy means, fresh meats, fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, and that kind of stuff. So it is that important. If you make only one change in your diet, I can assure you that many of our audience will see a significant improvement in their health if they just started to prepare the food at home from scratch, meats, fruits, vegetables, etc. Put all the herbs and spices to make it delicious. They would have quite a change in their health towards the better. So I think now is the time for us to take a break.
Well, as a matter of fact, you are absolutely right. So, yeah. So, well, doctor, you brought it up, tell everybody what to do.
Guide us with Guide Us TV.
Yeah.
Guide Us TV, first Islam channel in U.S.
Thanks to all of you for watching, sharing, and spending your time with us on Guide Us TV. And remember, tell everyone, stay guided with Guide Us TV. And we are back. So I want you to stay tuned and stay guided always with Guide Us TV. We have a lot of programs throughout the day, 24 hours a day. We are live on the air as far as our broadcast. But the live show is 1 hour every single day or night, depending on where you are in the world. For us, it's day over here, but for the doctors, it's nighttime. Is that right, doctors?
Yes, for me, the nighttime.
MashaAllah. All right.
Guide Us TV, first Islam.
Wait a minute. I pushed the wrong button. Let's see. Okay, Dr. Adil, there you are. We were talking. We were talking about the food and the carbs and things that Dr. Sultan really lays it out for us. But do you have any comments about for any of your patients that you've been seeing, or like he was telling us about some of the examples? Have you had any cases that you'd like to share?
Absolutely. Dr. Sultan mentioned about mineral deficiency. I'm talking about overall the heart disease and all the risk factors that led to heart disease. Some of them are modifiable, meaning we could do something about it, because someone said, oh, well, I have bad genes. My parents, my aunts, my uncles, they have the heart disease, so I'm doomed. Well, we're looking into the things that we can do to change our lifestyle. So the modifiable risk factors, number one, if you're a smoker, you can stop smoking. If you drink alcohol, you can stop the alcohol and all the other drugs that will lead to heart damage, including marijuana. cocaine and all the amphetamines and opioids and on all these toxins. Number three, change your lifestyle to make it more rather than sedentary. Have a 30 minutes of active walking, whatever, swimming, dancing, anything that will have to do with increase the heart rate and improve your heart health in that way. Number five, if there's diabetes that need to be brought under control. If there's high blood pressure, similarly. If there's high cholesterol or triglycerides, there's medications in addition to lifestyle. And then, I was referring earlier to the, how it is for the mental health can be a cure for the heart and soul, and for also to kind of, be a soothing effect on the overall well-being. And of course, in that sense, when you feel comfortable and feel calm and peace, that will boost your immune system. So, one of the things we mentioned yesterday in the 5-step therapy, the free therapy, is the importance and the role of Quran, the guidance from God. So this is in Surah Yunus and in the holy book of Allah. It's called Quran. This is ayah number 10, Yunus, verse 57. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس قد جاءكم موعظة من ربكم وشفاء لما في الصدور وهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين. O mankind, there comes to you a good advice from your Lord. That's what? The Quran. And ordering what is right, forbidding what is evil and wrong. And it is healing, shifa, cure for all heart diseases, arrogance, doubt, hypocrisy, indifference. And this will give calming and soothing effects on the heart, and also give guidance and mercy, and be a true blessing for all the believers. And if you want to rejoice, قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِّمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. In the bounties of God and His mercy, that's true in Islam and the Quran. These are the real things that we should all rejoice. This is better than any wealth or money that people are collecting. So if we put things in perspective, and when people look at that, and we can really try to have, when you're driving to work or you're in the highway, just to, rather than blasting the stereo with music, just put the words of Allah, the Quran, and let it play. And you'll see how much calmness and peace and tranquility will come to your life, and then make this as a, I would say, a companion with you. And if you have, God, with the word of God with you, and you attach to your ears, and if you, obviously connected with the meaning, it will be a beautiful, ongoing, free therapy. No matter where you are, you'll be connected with God, and that will help to repel the stress and anxiety. So I hope people can start using that.
Yeah, as you mentioned when we started, I did have it ready for you, and let's listen to it on our website, recitequran.com. You can learn how to recite the Quran properly with this, and let me just put that call on hold, because I'm just getting ready to pray the Quran, play it. So let's listen to that. MashaAllah.
يا أيها الناس قد جاءتكم موعظة من ربكم وشفاء لما في الصدور وهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين.
O mankind, there has come to you instruction from your Lord, and healing for what is in the breasts, and guidance and mercy for the believers.
MashaAllah. There we got to hear the Quran. And Not that you didn't do a good job with it. It's just I like to show off our website. we
have over 4,000, websites, so people can really take advantage of the wealth of information and material, and really everybody should take advantage of that. It's all free for being offered for the sake of God.
Okay, mashallah. Yeah, we have 4,440. I think we reached that number today. 4,440 different domains for Islam. MashaAllah. Let's, we had a call and I put it on hold. Let me see if we can get it back. I didn't want to interrupt the Quran. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Salam alaikum. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. What do you have for us today?
I have a question about, I got the 2 shots by Pfizer, and they give you this little card so you can prove it, but I lost my card. Is there a way I can get another one? Is it recorded anywhere?
Yes, it is recorded. Wherever you gotten the shot, it has to be recorded over there, recorded in the computer, and it is retrievable. So just go down over there and ask them, and they will get you the copy. Okay.
So wherever, okay, doctor, is what you're saying that a person, if they lose their card, they just go back to the place, the drugstore in this case, probably they just go back to that same location.
Just go back to CVS.
Yeah.
Okay, you request a printout.
Okay, and they will be able to do that?
Yes.
All right, okay. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else for us?
I have something to address. You mentioned the flat earthers.
Flat earthers. Oh, okay. Okay.
I have proof that the earth is round.
Oh, what is the proof that you have that the earth is round?
Well, if the earth was flat, the cats would have everything pushed off the edge by now.
Seriously, the answer is clear in the Quran. It looks like an egg.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh my God. Oh, that was funny. Oh, yeah. If the Walaikum salam, rahmatullah.
Thank you.
If the earth was flat, the cats would have already pushed everything off the edge. Oh, yeah, man. Well, having our experience with cats over the years, I can really relate to that one. That was good. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. All right. Dr. Adil, you were saying something about the Quran has something about that.
Yes. In the Quran for the sister, that was a good joke, by the way. And everybody needs that laughter. So that's part of the therapy.
What number? What number in the Quran?
الأرض وما دحاها. How Allah Subhanahu wa Taala mentioned that.
What number in the Quran?
I'll just say it's. So the earth is made in the shape of an egg.
Yeah, what I'm asking you is what surah?
Yeah, I'm getting to it as we speak. قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Just 1 second. So basically, I thought initially she was going to say something and actually bring an evidence to show it, but then I found it turns into the cats. So that was a good surprise.
Yeah.
That was okay. Okay. والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها. سورة النازعات. I knew I was close. Verses number 30.
Okay.
والأرض بعد ذلك.
Is that the one in the last part of the Quran?
Nazi'at, yes, in the 30th juz, in the last juz of the Quran, before Abasa. So it's Nazi'at, chapter 30, and ayah number 30.
Okay, Abasa is number 80, so that's 79. And it's ayah number what?
30. وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا 30. 30.
Okay, let's see what we got here with that. And almost 30. Yeah, here we go. I'll put it up there and let's let everybody hear it, and then we can talk about it.
وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا.
And after that he spread the earth.
أَخْرَجَ مِنْهَا مَاءَهَا وَمَرْعَاهَا.
That's the
He
point.
extracted from it its water and its pasture.
وَالْجِبَالَ أَرْسَاهَا مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ.
As enjoyment for you and your grazing livestock.
All right. Okay. So what we got from this is what, Doctor?
الأرض وما دحاها mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the earth and how Allah put it in the shape, not round, but in the oval shape of an egg. Exactly that's the shape of the earth. So it's oblong with a wide base and a narrow top, and exactly look the shape of an egg, not a full rounded sphere. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us that clear description of how He created the earth.
There's also another fine point in there, that when we say egg shape, this is not exactly the egg shape, but is the egg shape of the ostrich, which is flat on both ends.
And also in Surah Al-Shams, verses number 6, وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا. If you want to get to that, Shams is number, okay, I'm going to get to that.
Shamsi wa duhaha.
وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا, correct.
Yeah.
That's the verse number
91. That's
91. You're right. So, and it's verse number 6. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا.
Let's see what
again,
it sounds like.
وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا.
And by the earth and he who spread it.
وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا.
And by the soul and he who proportioned it.
فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا.
And inspired it with discernment of its wickedness and its righteousness.
Okay, this is it. This is the two ayahs that's related specifically to the design of the earth, like in the shape of an egg. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا دَحَاهَا. And here وَمَا ضَحَاهَا. Again, in the shape of an egg.
ضَحَاهَا.
So not fully rounded like a sphere. That's not what Allah has described the earth and created the earth according to the Quran.
MashaAllah. I think that this is an amazing thing because having been a Christian for so long and studying the Bible and spending time with it and trying to figure out things that from different translations of the Bible, from other translations of other languages, it becomes a little bit unclear, as a matter of fact. So whenever we have the exact words that were said 1,400 years ago, then it becomes real easy for us to examine and compare and think about what it is Almighty God has said. As a Muslim, we do believe that the original Bible was 100% from God. And I think that this is a mistake from a lot of the folks who want to criticize Islam because they think it's a new religion. They think it's something that is conjured up in the deserts, in the mountains of the deserts, by somebody who was totally illiterate. And if this was really the case, you would not be able to find such specific scientific miracles right there in front of you in the Quran. And we know it is from Almighty God, the same God who revealed the Bible to Moses, the words that even all the way back to Abraham. And it says that in the Quran, that if we don't want to believe this, then we can't be Muslims. Is that right, Doctor?
Pretty much. Yep. And it's really.
When you say pretty much, it sounded like you didn't agree with everything we just said.
No, we agree 100%. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put this clearly in multiple areas to remove any doubt that He's the creator and He created in a certain way. It's a beautiful description, and it leaves no doubt. Once you read this, the Quran, and you go through the explanation, and you know the mutashabihat, or the similar verses that indicate the same message, but in different ways and different angles to emphasize and to solidify the meanings, that really leaves no doubt in anybody's heart that this is the right book. This is the book of Allah that's unaltered, and to the Day of Judgment.
And I love this part of our show whenever the doctors are extending themselves over into the Quran and presenting. Now, I've heard doctors talk about things, Christian doctors, Jewish doctors, talk about things that they found in their Bible that are absolutely true. And we have no problem with that. But there are things that don't really work out too good if you take the English translations, because it comes out kind of weird. And this is why I encourage those who would like to really know what God is talking about in the Bible, compare it to what we have in the Quran, and you find where your Bible is exactly right. But you'll also find a clarification in the areas so you can't really figure out because God does not make mistakes, all right? The God of Adam, the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, the God of the Jews, the God of Jesus, the God of the Christians, the God of Muhammad, the God of the universe is the same God, and He doesn't make mistakes. We do. We make a lot of mistakes, and one of the mistakes that Muslims make is trying to translate into other languages without the disclaimer at the beginning saying that there is no way you can represent the real words of God except exactly the way He did it. So if you don't have an original, you don't really have the words of God. You have some ideas, and that's what I'm doing right now, is sharing with you in the English language ideas. But if you really want to know what God said, then you learn the Arabic language step by step, letter by letter, and then you can figure out exactly what Almighty God wants us to know, what He wants us to do. So I encourage everybody to stay tuned, stay guided with Guidus TV. And we're not at the end of the program, but I just like to throw that in there right now. And I'd like to kind of come back to Dr. Sultan, because you mentioned something in the beginning of the program about getting the vaccination. And I'd like to kind of refer back to that as we're closing out the program. Do you mind to talk about that again, how important it is to get that vaccination?
Absolutely. First of all, there is so much misinformation on the web and from what political party you belong to. So I want to cut that out completely, bring the truth there is, what so that people can make simple decisions. Number one is a serious problem. Don't take it lightly. Number two, do everything in your capacity to protect you from a virus, because it's just not like a flu that once you get it and in 5-6 days you're over with and you never thought that you ever had an infection. This can lead to chronic long COVID, which can be debilitating for months and perhaps years together. So get the vaccination. If you didn't get the vaccination, get the first shot, then get the second shot. If you have only one and stuck on one, get the second one. If you had both of them and it's been over 8 months, go ahead and get your third shot, because there are so many factors, even if you don't have a risk factor, but you may not realize that you have risk factors. So I will just point out, if these are the ones, then you must get all the vaccinations in COVID vaccination, including the booster shot. If you're even slightly overweight, your BMI is more than 25, that's a risk factor. If you have diabetes, if you have hypertension, if you have heart disease, if you have chronic fatigue, or any other chronic illness that you have, on which rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, the things that on which you are dependent on medication, all of those things are affecting your immune system. Therefore, it is very important for you to get the vaccine. Especially, one thing people don't realize, that because of the autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and many others, the standard treatment is using very toxic medications like methotrexate, and also using medications that they beautifully call immune modulators, but really that suppress your immune system. So if you are any of those medications, it is absolutely essential that you should be up to date on vaccinations as quickly as possible.
I'm going to add to what Dr. Sultan said, and I kept this with me for a while. I'm glad I found it. This is straight from the CDC about educating people when it comes to the regular flu vaccine. And when somebody had a bad reaction or serious illness like Guillain-Barré or allergic reaction, that will not allow this person to be a candidate for such vaccination. It is something that should be considered, in the decision-making process with your, primary care or your healthcare provider. There is a national vaccine injury compensation program, and this is again, it's a 1-800-338-2382. This is 1-800-338-2382. If somebody had a serious reaction, and it does not apply only to the regular flu, but any other vaccination that for potential, whatever reason that people should be aware of. And again, this is to really educate people and also let them know if somebody had the previous allergic reaction, probably should have this discussion. And we'll talk about serious allergic reaction, not just local pain at the site, which invariably most people get it. And again, if somebody had this, serious condition, I think that number was set up specifically, the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, to help people and see the claims and so on. All the data from all the reports have been said, it's relatively very, very highly safe and efficacious. And the safety data showed that the benefits outweigh the risks. So overall, as a general statement, yes, absolutely. And now people above 65 with chronic diseases or weak immune system should be considered to take the third shot if they're more than 6 months out after the second dose of their initial primary vaccination dose.
What about the flu vaccination?
Very good. Flu vaccination, exactly the same. If someone has more than 65, someone has, repeated infections like pneumonias or weak immune system, I think they should get the regular flu. Don't forget about the regular flu vaccine. This is totally separate from the third vaccination dose.
We have a phone call. It's exciting. Oh, answer the phone.
Well, it looks like we've reached the limit of our live program. Gentlemen, doctors, I very much appreciate your input tonight and helping us to know more about our bodies, know more about our health, know more about the situation that surrounds all of us. And I really did appreciate hearing from both of you about the Quran and about the way of Islam to find out more things that prove that there really is a God and how he wants us to react to what he's given us. Yeah, that's really great. Thank you so much. And Doctor, if you don't mind, Dr. Otto, I'm going to let you wind us up.
Everybody should know by now, or around the States, around the world, stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV. Yusuf Estes. And I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners. And you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.